I need a miracle.
Oh.
Hello.
That's going to be a potential firing for Dr. Xavier. All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon coming to you with another reaction video to Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. This one is called The Bus. I see in this random still frame the ever-familiar sight of a school bus, and then Mr. Quest. I do remember on the dismissal episode, I think it was, at the end, I noticed that Mr. Quest was a bus driver, and this does happen, particularly in smaller school districts where you might allow some teachers to drive buses if you don't have enough bus drivers, or you just have a teacher who wants to earn extra money. You can actually make quite a bit of extra money as a bus driver if you do that on top of your regular job for the school district. I've seen that before. I've also seen in larger districts where that's absolutely not allowed. It just depends on where you are. But without further ado, I want to get into this episode. I can't wait to see what take the show takes on the bus. The bus is definitely a part of many students' lives. I rode the school bus all the way toward the end of my high school years, and so I can't wait to see what happens here. If you're new to the channel or not a subscriber, I encourage you to click the button below to become a subscriber and turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of my future content. But without further ado, let's go.
Yes! I'm first in line for the bus. I want to get a good seat so Feynman will sit with me. What?
Okay. So already I have a few comments. So I do remember this. Typically at a bus stop, you're going to have a small group of kids, and depending on where your stop is in the list of stops, you might have the opportunity to sit anywhere you want on the bus, or you might have to just sit wherever's available. Nowadays, I see more and more, almost every bus may have assigned seats. You have more of that going on because there are sometimes issues on the school bus with student behavior, and the school bus driver, their job is to drive the bus and to safely operate the bus. Now, some buses also have a bus monitor, which is an extra person on the bus that's sole purpose is to maintain safety among the students and to deal with some of those behaviors if they interfere with the safe operation of the bus. But back in this era when the show was produced, it was much more common for students to be able to sit wherever they wanted to. Let me know in the comments if you rode the school bus. Were you able to sit wherever you wanted, or did you have assigned seats?
So great about Feynman Fortune. He's like an undiscovered gem. And if he sits by me on the bus, I'll know he likes me.
Feynman.
It's like a love test.
Speaking of love tests, yesterday I tucked a surprise emotional note in Susie's locker.
You guys haven't been going out that long. It's kind of early to be getting emotional. It is? I guess it's okay. It's not like you told her you loved her. That would really freak her out. Would? Duh. Nothing ruins a relationship faster than saying I love you too soon. It's like picking out your wedding cake on the first date. And you wrote I love you in the note, didn't you? I have to get that note back before Susie reads it.
No. And there's your plot twist, or I guess what we're going to be dealing with a lot in this plot is him trying to retrieve some note that he wrote her before she receives it. That should be pretty funny and make for some funny antics here.
Which will be no problem, as long as the bus is on time and we get there first.
Mr. Quest.
I'm so alone. I can't go on. I can't drive the bus today.
And I've seen it where a bus driver has not been able to drive and has to bail out, but not for this reason. He says, I'm so alone, and he has some sort of emotional breakdown. Now, that I've never seen, but people do get sick, you know, and typically a school district will have substitute bus drivers who can come in a pinch and fill in for someone. Or worst case scenario, and I used to always hate this when I was an assistant principal, is when there would be a bus driver that would get sick and they just had to have a bus come back and do an extra load. In other words, you have to sit there at the school and wait for the entire bus load to be dropped off so that that bus can then come back to the school, pick up a whole nother load, which usually takes at least an hour or an hour and a half. So you're sitting there at the school watching a bunch of kids, or I'm sure for the kids it's unpleasant as well, just having to sit there for an hour and a half waiting for the bus to completely empty out and then come all the way back to the school. It's a real pain.
Why can't you drive the bus?
My girlfriend dumped me. My life is over.
Okay, Why are you driving the bus?
To make extra money, because I'm saving up to buy a car.
There you go. Okay, so if Mr. Quest is still a teacher, he should be able to buy a car. I mean, that should not be difficult for him. But nevertheless, some teachers do this. He says he's trying to make extra money. And I did mention at the beginning of the episode, you can do that in many districts, and it makes more money than you think if it's on top of your regular salary. It can be substantial.
So I could drive around with my girlfriend who I don't have anymore.
It's gonna be okay. Eventually.
And it is not appropriate for Mr. Quest to be sharing this with students. Now, is it a potential firing? Almost. If he goes a little further with this, depending on what happens, it may very well be. He should not be sharing this.
Here's one of my favorite pictures of us.
What?
And if she were here, what would she want you to do?
Yeah, this is probably a potential firing. I'll go ahead and call it. Now, would he automatically be fired? It sort of depends. Again, a potential firing is a situation in which someone could be fired, not necessarily that they for sure would be. But yeah, you can't share that stuff, and with the sharing of the photo and everything, you just can't do it.
She'd want you to get these kids to school on time and before Susie gets there.
Yeah. Women love guys who get kids to school on time.
And they're just straight up manipulating him, and he's just allowing it. That's not good either. What?
Oh no! I missed the bus! I mean, the bus missed me!
Yeah, and if he did that deliberately, that's a potential firing too. Or at least he's not on the bus route anymore. Maybe they say to him, well, okay, you can still be a teacher, but you're no longer allowed to drive the bus. You can't deliberately pass by students.
My perfect not tardy record is in jeopardy!
I know.
What's he gonna do?
I'll catch him at the third stop.
Okay, so he's going to somehow run. Did you see how fast that bus was moving? That's a little crazy for him to be able to catch him at the next stop. Theoretically, you could do that. Now, the fact that Mr. Quest deliberately passed them kind of rules this out, but you can't just get on whatever stop you want. A lot of school districts will not allow you to get on the bus at any other point other than your regular bus stop. And if he's driving like that, that's another potential firing. I think we're up to 3 now. Or, again, at least firing from the bus duties, and he can maybe still be a teacher, but he can't drive the bus anymore.
Freaking out because you wrote a love note you don't want a girl to read? The bus is a great place to get things done.
What's that
Bus
mean?
time is great forgotten homework time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I remember, I didn't do this a ton, but I have done it before where you're either, if not doing homework, you're reviewing for a test or looking at notes or reading from, in my day, a textbook. You don't see that as much anymore. But you do have students that do this, that use bus time to complete homework or to do other tasks.
Not a great time to finish a social studies project.
No, I haven't seen that a whole lot, although I have seen it. People trying to, like, physically put stuff together. That's really bad. You're better off just asking for more time than handing something in that looks like that.
You can also catch up on sleep, but be careful who you sit with.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, man. I hope he got paid a lot to do that. That's a little gross.
Payment stop is next, so I'm gonna use the shift.
Yeah,
To save a
shift
seat
over.
for someone, use the shift. Sit on the aisle with your backpack
Yeah.
next to the window. Then when the time comes, the backpack goes to the floor, and you shift to the window.
Because she wants to see if he will sit by her or not, I guess. Yeah, the shift.
Hey, Feynman, got a spot for you. Name's Martin Corley. Wow, the girls are gonna gobble you up like a frittata. Hey, ladies, take a gander at this undiscovered gem.
Curse you, Martin Corley!
And again, I'll say it again. Feynman, maybe I'm wrong. He looks like a high school student.
Bus stop over! Go, 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 go! Hey, what happened? Everybody's late!
Okay, that's a potential firing number 4 for Mr. Quest, or at least, again, from the bus job. So the first thing that kind of got my attention is Ned went up and closed the door, and Mr. Quest did not seem to prevent him from doing that, and then Cookie gets left at this bus stop. Granted that Cookie is not at his correct bus stop, the fact that Mr. Quest knows, number 1, that he deliberately passed by, and number 2, the bus drivers typically know every single kid on their route. They know them pretty well because they see the same exact kids every day. And it's not like the entire school where you may not know everybody, but it's just your bus route, just a smaller group of kids. You're going to know them all, or at least know whether or not they ride your bus route. So the fact that he just leaves him, yeah, that's worth the potential firing. I think we're up to 4 now.
Hey!
Oh, man.
I can't be late for school. Please.
And I see the cars and people in the background. Were these put there as extras for the show, or are they just kind of random people? I don't know.
I need a miracle.
Oh. Hello. That's going to be a potential firing for Dr. Xavier. She just plows right into him. And a lot of you guys say, like, I've heard a lot of people say, well, you know, it wasn't at school. A teacher can do whatever they want. Teaching is one of the few professions where your behavior is sort of subject to certain ethical standards, even when you're not working, when it comes to interactions with your students. Not with other things per se, but when it comes to personal interactions with students, for sure. The fact that she hit him, she could say, well, it was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. It is sort of a potential firing. I can see someone getting fired, or at least disciplined for that. Maybe it's not a firing, but it's a conversation. Let's talk about what happened, particularly if Cookie's parent really complained or went to the school board or whatever. This could be an issue for Dr. Xavier. At least she would have a lot of explaining to do.
Hello, Simon.
Dr. Xavier, what are you doing here?
I ride the bike to school every day to stay in top shape.
Yeah, I've known teachers to do this, riding bikes. I have seen that before, particularly in a school that was kind of nestled in the city. I've seen that. I've seen teachers that walked if they lived close enough. It's not very common just because it's not possible in a lot of situations unless you happen to live near enough to the school.
That's a bicycle. Built for 2.
Yeah, I buy for me and handsome cleaning man to ride, but he says he's allergic to bicycle and exercise and me.
I need to get to school in 15 minutes or my perfect not tardy record is in jeopardy.
Hapa! I get you there!
Yeah, she really shouldn't be doing that. Now, is it a firing or disciplinary action? No, but if anything at all were to happen on this bike ride, for instance, them getting hurt or anything, that could be a real issue. If the parents don't agree with this little bike ride, they could raise some concerns also. Is it a firing? Probably not. Unless, of course, something happens on this bike ride.
We ride on the wind like Ukrainian geese!
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to say that's the same potential firing there, but she really has to be careful. You really shouldn't be giving students rides and that kind of thing.
We're making great time.
Come on.
The light's green. Let's go.
I can't.
Yep, that's a potential firing also. Number 5, again, at least from the bus route. He's at a green light, and he's having some sort of emotional breakdown. That could get him in a lot of trouble because safety is absolutely paramount when driving a bus. There's actually quite a bit of training, and you have to take a special exam and get a certain number of hours before you're allowed to actually drive students around. So safety is absolutely at the top of this guy's job, and he's just sitting at a green light. Having this little breakdown, that is not appropriate. I think we're up to 5 potential firings now for Mr. Quest.
I'm too weak to go on.
You need energy. Here, drive.
Is that tuna? That was Annie's favorite sandwich.
It's ham. And ham cures broken hearts. Top scientists proved it.
I'm not allowed to eat while I drive. Bus driver's code.
Then eat fast.
I have seen a lot of bus drivers eat while they drive. I don't know for sure whether it's the part of any sort of regulations. That would be a state issue also, so it might vary a little bit from state to state. I've seen many a bus driver eat while they drive, though.
He stole my future man!
Well, you better act now. With those looks, he's gonna go fast.
Which means it's time to return his notebook.
How'd you get his notebook?
Stole it.
Feynman, hi. I found this notebook in your locker. I mean, the hallway by your locker. And I think, is this yours? Because it had your name on it, which made me think it was yours.
Ham does make everything better. Hold on.
Okay, so so that's number 6. I think we all saw that coming. You can't drive like that. And I have not been through the training that they go through, but I know that driving while students are standing up is a big no-no. That's why probably most of you who did ride the school bus know that, hey, stay in your seat, stay in your seat. Although I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of stories in the comments section of this video about bus drivers that just didn't seem to care about that stuff. I'm sure that has happened, but nevertheless, the safety standards are quite high, at least when it comes to the training and expectations for bus drivers.
We're making great time. We're gonna be early.
Nothing can stop us now. Garage sale.
What? Yeah, how are they going to carry all that? And she didn't look like she rode that bike too well. They were wobbling all over the place, and she's supposed to be like a former Olympian or whatever. That's a little weird. And then they just stop off at this random spot. That's even weirder.
Now we get to school on time with great novelty items and fruit.
How are they going
Where'd
to
you
carry
park the
that?
bike?
Oh, man.
We ran for it.
Jennifer, you must remain seated while...
See, that's what I was talking about. Oh, okay, here we go. The rules. The rules. All right. It says, don't lose your riding privilege. Follow these rules. And that is true. I do see that in a lot of school districts. It is a privilege to ride the school bus, and if you act out on the school bus, you can be kicked off the school bus or suspended from it for a period of time. That's very true. So it says, observe the same conduct as in the classroom, be courteous, no profane language. This looks like something they got off of a real school bus, and they didn't invent this for the purposes of the show. Don't eat or drink on the bus. I've seen that go a little bit more lax nowadays. I do remember back in the day when I was in school, that was a very strict rule, but now I see all kind of stuff being eaten on the bus. Keep the bus clean, cooperate with the driver, don't smoke. And most of the time today, I think that, I don't know if that appears in the rules or not, because it's sort of understood. I mean, it's against the school rules as a whole. Don't be destructive. I guess that means like respect the school property, don't mess up the seats, don't rip the seats, don't draw on the seats, that kind of stuff. Stay in your seat, hands, keep your head, hands, and feet inside the bus. Yes, very hard and fast rule there. And bus driver is authorized to assign seats. Yeah, a lot of buses do have assigned seats. But let's see what he says here.
The bus is moving.
Yep.
If you need to get closer to someone on the bus, use road bounces to disguise the classic seat hop.
I have seen this done, and in fact, I've done it myself, where you sort of go from seat to seat to seat to seat so that it's not obvious that you just walk right up the aisle. You sort of seat hop like she's doing here.
We got a flood!
Oh, no. She lands on
Jennifer,
set.
This is unexpected, but okay. I'll give you another chance.
No. Oh, man. I'm wondering, can he fix it? So you do have buses that have some sort of breakdown very typically you'll have another bus that will go out to the broken down bus and pick up all the students to bring them to school, even if that's a little bit late. And I see Mr. Quest here with a tire iron. Some drivers can do minor things themselves, but more commonly they'll get a mechanic. Most school districts do have a bus mechanic that their whole entire job, their full-time job, is to work on buses, to maintain the buses. There are bus inspections that have to happen once a year to make sure that the bus is in good order. But I see him with a tire iron here. I'm wondering if he's going to do something himself here.
Who leaves a broken glass vase in the middle of the street?
My life is over.
Dr. Xavier?
I can't. I wrote I love you.
What? Why didn't you tell me earlier? That's why my sweet...
So suddenly he's concerned. That's pretty funny.
It may be too late for me to find love, Ned, but it's not too late to save you from losing love. Time for the wheels on this bus to go round and round. Ah!
What? Even though Mr. Quest hasn't appeared as a teacher in quite some time for his, I think he had some sort of computer class, he is a pretty good little character here. It's making it pretty entertaining. All right, I guess he changed it.
Here goes my perfect record.
Uh-oh. But on the other hand, if Cookie can prove, especially with all those other students as witnesses, if they can prove that the bus just straight up left them, they may be able to get that changed. Let's say Cookie goes to school and he is tardy. If he can prove that, then the school can actually change it to where, as if he was never late.
Here, put these up.
Gates.
Isn't that stealing?
In my country, we call it a Brachtenstund.
What's that mean?
Stealing, but I'll bring them back later.
Oh, that's bad.
That's all.
And by the way, I was just thinking, like, is that a potential firing for Dr. Xavier? The school probably would not deal with that, and it'd be sort of tough to prove that she did that unless someone caught her in the act. It'd be best handled by law enforcement because that is stealing, you know, even if she does bring it back. So the school probably would not get involved in that unless, of course, she were arrested. I mean, that could potentially affect her employment, but I didn't see anyone there to really stop her, and it looks like this will go unnoticed here. All right, we got it again. Yeah, it's Loomer here getting sick. So I'm going to say this is potential firing number 7, I think it is, for Mr. Quest. He's not doing well here. Oh, man. Oh.
Thanks, Mr. Quest.
So we're going to say all that is just number 7 here.
Go get that note.
The bell's about to ring.
Launches him.
Hey, Cookie. I made it on time.
He made it. And Dr. Xavier just sort of launches him inside. And I'm guessing that Susie has already seen this note. That's my guess, but let's see.
Oh, Annie, who could ever replace you?
That sounded just like if you heard that little ditty while Mr. Quest was talking. It sounded like the theme from Forrest Gump. Let me know if you noticed that.
Hey, you want to go on a date sometime?
We could pick out wedding cake.
What in the world?
It's great sitting with you today.
So weird.
Hey, Susie. Giant lizard.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, whoa, I must be seeing things or something. Are we still home for lunch? Great, see you there.
And I'm guessing again that this is not the correct piece of paper that he snatched out, that he picked up something else and the real note is still in there. Maybe. Let's see.
Here to go, Feynman.
Let's just say he saw a different side of me today. So you got the note?
Boom.
Is that the note?
This is her math homework.
Made it on time and check out the new shirt.
It's fitting.
That's pretty good. And I hear kind of the ending music. I'm wondering, like, is the note still in there? Did she read it? I'm not sure. I hope they don't leave it on this cliffhanger here. Let's see. All All right, so I guess they did leave it on a cliffhanger. That was a pretty good episode. I did enjoy that one. I mentioned that a few episodes ago, like the Halloween ones, I didn't quite enjoy those as much. This one was really good, even though it was a lot of antics, a lot of true-to-life stuff. I had a lot of stuff to comment about as far as buses. Transportation is a huge issue with schools because I think probably the majority of students do take the bus. Not everybody does. There are plenty of students who didn't. Let me know in the comments what your experience on the bus or getting to school was like. A lot of people have a lot of stories about that, good or bad. But I'm going to leave the video here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber and you enjoy tuning into these episodes of Ned's every Tuesday. I hope to continue all the way to the end of the series, and I hope you enjoy watching it right along with me. I'm going to end the video here. Thanks again for watching until the end of the video. This has been Brandon on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.